All right. Welcome back. We are talking about the terror. This is Six Pack Cinema, and we've been doing episode by episodes discussions, reviewing this show. And we finally have left the ships. We found some Indian people, some Inuits, some Native Americans, some Eskimos, whatever you want to call them, which I've been dying for. And also, I was told over and over again wasn't going to happen. So we got to get into that. We got to get into full on mutiny, full on, I don't know, like survival mode, I guess, is going on now. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk some terror. Terror. All right. The
Okay.
first thing I want to talk about, I got John here. No Dave. I guess we should say that. There's no Dave today.
His first
He,
episode is missing ever.
yeah, first episode he's ever missing. So last, but we'll move on. He has some notes. We can read them at the end if we want
Okay.
to.
All right.
We like talking about the episode names on here because they're kind of interesting. This one was like last week. It was a mercy, which was a big clue into us saying he was doing that. He was burning down the tent as a mercy killing.
Mm-hmm.
This week, it was horrible from supper. So last week on this show, we guessed what it would be. I think you and I said
I
no
said
meat.
like, oh, I feel terrible from supper. I feel horrible from supper. Like they figured out the lead.
Yep. And
Not I was incorrect.
Dave said it was going to be cannibalism, like they were going to start eating each other.
Yep.
Dave's was closer to
Close.
correct, but
Yep.
it's the way it was delivered, the line and the scene was actually what's the word here? Like not cool because it was, but like
It was slick.
slick and
It was slid in there. And if you didn't read beforehand, you would never have known that was the title.
it was, but like that whole the concept is fucked up. Like this dude, basically the line was, "My nose and stomach don't know horrible from supper, but my mind does." So the dude, I don't know if was it a guy we know the name of or just a
Yeah,
random.
this was the same guy who was complaining of the headaches or the bad brain. He was the one who was diving below with the yeah.
Oh yes. So, but
This
basically,
poor bastard's having a tough time.
imagine this. What he meant was that his nose and his stomach smelled the grilling of his friends that were dying in the fire, and he got a sense of hunger because his body just is like starving for
Food.
meat and nutrition because they've been eating like shit, and his like body said, "Ooh, eat that."
Yep. Supper. There it
That's
is.
supper.
You
And
gotta
his
eat that, man.
and his mind said, "No, that's horrible. That's your friends dying."
Yep.
That's some fucked up shit.
Which I try to put myself in that position, and I think I'd be the same way. Like, I mean, meat is meat. I mean, seasoning, whatever you want to put on it, like we are meat, and you start cooking it, you're gonna get that familiar smells. And they've been away from home. He probably got rifled back to his kitchen from home. Maybe the burnt on the grill or whatever. So his brain is sending these hard wires like, "Yep, it's time to eat dinner, Bell. Let's go." And it was one of the worst situations ever for him. So him with an already broken brain was just did not do him any favors.
That was that's a time where, like, a scenario that why would we as like normal humans ever think, like, oh, can you imagine if you smelled your friend dying and your body's reaction was, ooh, that smells good, let's eat him, and the mind
Um,
fuck that would do.
yeah, I can't
So,
really fathom that.
so good for this show. That's why we watch such terrible haunting shows like this.
Yep. But also, I just love the way that they laid out that line. They could have said it any different way, but saying my nose, my stomach can't tell the difference between horrible and from supper.
Yeah, it's good
Horrible from
writing.
supper. That's amazing writing.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. I wrote it down. I already knew it because we had talked about the title last episode. So my ears kind of like were aware of it, but
Hmm.
that's got to be somewhat on purpose from them too. Like they
It is.
know. They're like, "Oh, we just nailed that line. Let's make sure people realize how well we just nailed that
Yeah.
line."
And usually I hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, well, there it is. That tied right in. But this time I heard it, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, that was awesome.
Yeah. So the rest of this episode is basically they've abandoned the ships, they're on the move. The lead party um already went and they don't know. They're like they could have found land already. They don't if they haven't heard back from them. They're like they could be dead. They haven't found land. We don't know. Before they even leave, Hickey starts putting his mutiny plan in place with his gay lover and like they're trying to recruit people.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And his gay lover's such a sad sack of shit.
He really is. He's just a bag of nothing.
Yeah, it's like every time he talks, it's just like it doesn't even look like his lips are moving. I'm like, was that character that just spoke?
Was that his name? Is Hartnell?
Curly hair, tall, skinny. I don't know.
I think his name is Hartnell. We'll go with that for now.
All right. So do you want to talk about the mutiny first? We have mutiny. Let's talk about Hickey's storyline. I think it's the most interesting, and then we can get into Lady Silence and Dr. Goodsir, the lack of the beast, the lead scout party, and then the end with the Eskimos. And also we got to talk about Frazier and Fitzjames as the best tag team ever now.
They're amazing. But yeah. Mutiny, first of all, I gotta tell you, I hate Hickey as a character. I mean, I love him as a character, but as a person, the worst person ever. But the mutiny, I'm all on board with that.
Okay, I'm happy because I'm with you. It's smart. Like what they're doing is smart. I know that we know that no one survives.
Yep.
But if we didn't know the ending, we'd think, okay, these guys might survive because everyone else that's just like, what's the plan? Oh, this plan isn't going to work. We're just like sheep. Like we're just going along. Hickey's like
walking toward death.
Do the math. Even if they go catch some seals, it's not going to be enough for everyone.
Was it like 50 people or more?
Yeah, 50 something, I think.
Yeah, that's. I've never divvied up a seal before, but I can't imagine to be much left over.
No, so like Hickey's an asshole, and for many reasons. But the plan to mutiny is kind of smart. I'm glad we agree. Okay, I'm glad we agree.
Because, I mean, large group moves slower. We know that.
Yeah. So he has his plan in place, and he's got kind of recruitments, and he's trying to recruit that lieutenant that we both kind of the strawberry mutton chopped hair kind of tubby lieutenant, right?
Yep.
That scene was I thought that scene was hilarious because it was really well staged. They had Hickey sitting Indian style in the middle of the tent, like a little boy, so nonchalantly planning out this mutiny and handing over a dead dog. So last episode, we're like, where'd that dog go? And even today, they were like, oh, he probably just ran away. He'll come back. No, Hickey killed him. He says that he found him with a broken leg. There's absolutely no way he found him with a broken leg.
No,
but
did
you notice how weird it was that he was just sitting Indian style, like everyone else was sitting on a barrel or standing or leaning?
Yeah, they definitely did that to make him feel different. And he's for each episode goes along, the more and more maniacal he gets. I feel like his hair is even more slick back than it used to be.
Yeah,
he's a straight villain. He's got the slick back hair and the goatee and like the. I don't know. He keeps getting worse and worse, and I think that's progressive. If I go back to the first episode, I gotta believe it's not as bad.
Well,
so they're doing the visuals to make him look like worse, and like you said, Indian style in the middle of the tent is. It reminded me of you probably didn't watch it, but Suicide Squad and the Joker sitting in the middle of all his knives.
Well, I was gonna say it reminded me of the Joker, like where he has this childlike innocence in a terrifying way.
Yep.
Like a playful bad guy.
A problem child for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we learned a lot about Hickey, and in the flashbacks they show the real Hickey. Like this isn't the Hickey. That's kind of like
that's the big reveal of this one, I think.
And it took me a little bit because I was like, did they just get a different actor to play him to show that he's aged, or blah blah? And then like clicked once we saw at the end when he went crazy and stabbed his buddies, and then they show the flashback of that guy getting on the ship with it. He's like, oh, I just grew my beard out a little. Like, no, you're a completely different dude. He like Jack Dawson to Poker Game and ran onto the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. When he popped down there, first he threw his bag down, which is a big no bueno in that. So he threw his bag down and popped down. He was all like, hey, look, he's looking around. He's never been on a ship before, clearly. And like right away, it was like, all right, here we go. We got an imposter because they went out of the way to show that he was not the right guy. I told you earlier that I thought something was up, but I was like, oh wow, they really showed that he's lost his boyish charm. But no, villain from the start. And the Hickey that we saw pop down from the stairs was very different from the Hickey that we saw in the beginning of the first episode. I've got to believe that he turned on his con artist charm to fit in, and the longer they go, he just keeps breaking out. Clearly, he's broken back to his whatever way he is right now.
Well, maybe like he was running. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe he was running away from his old con artist self, and he was falling in line kind of on this big adventure, and like just in it now, that con artist self is popping back up as a means of survival. I'm sure we'll get more insight.
I hope so. And wouldn't it be cool if this is like a true story? Like they found Hickey, the real Hickey, dead in the streets the day before.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. Cool. I think he's a murderer. I think he killed Hickey, and he was wanted for something else. He took this guy's papers, killed him, and was on his way.
Now he's in charge of a master plan to mutiny from death.
Yeah, survival.
Yeah. So they have like some armed men, and those guys, part of Hickey's crew, came up to Fitzjames and Crozier and asked for. They're like, we need more men. We're like we're spread way too thin, which is true. From the beast, blah blah blah. This is a nice transition into Fitzjames and Crozier's now dynamic duo.
The alliance, yeah.
I loved how they were on the same page when they asked for men, and then he named the men he wanted, and they were like, no, not yet. And Fitzjames was like, that they are right, that they do need more men. And the quote that Crozier said was, "Oh, their reason is sound. Some of those names are not." So yes. It shows like Crozier is a good captain. He knows his men captain. And the personalities of his men. Like he knew those names were like, that's not right. He knows that a mutiny is probably coming because even like you and I said, it is smart. Like it's only in your nature to think of like, okay, I'm going to get fucked this way. We need to think of ourselves. So Crozier and Fitzjames were both kind of like all over that and on the same page. And it's cool to see them on the same page. You saw them both promote that one dude, which is like when they give the walk-on a scholarship in like the locker room and everyone jumps up and down. That's what they did to him. That was kind of a cool scene to still have
this. I thought it was really sentimental. It was great.
Just to have that amongst the desperation and like looming death and survival to make this guy's day. Like, why don't they just go promote everyone? Everyone, you're promoted one rank.
We don't care. We're gonna die. Whatever.
And me, Crozier, I'm now king of England. when we go back home, when we go back home, we're storming the shores, Napoleon style, and I'm king. Nothing matters.
I was thinking, well, that was such a heartwarming moment. Like, why didn't they do that in front of the whole crew? But I was thinking more about it. I was like, well, then you get like a bitterness of guys like, well, I put my time in and whatever. So I don't every week we talk, and I always regret not addressing how great of a captain Crozier is. Like last week when he got up and did his little impromptu speech saying like, all right, guys, enough games. He said, a stuck ship is a great shelter, but it's not our homes. I was like, well, that's just, you are a poet. He is great with words. He's very wise, and he is calculating with everything he says. And also what I love about this episode, it showed that he's aware of what happened. Remember like the peg leg guy said about the almost mutiny in the other situation?
Yep.
How like it was just the grunt work guys and the captain elsewhere. I love how him and Fitzjames were in the lead boat pulling the thing along. And they hit the mountain. They're like, all right, me and you, Fitzjames, we're going to climb this fucking mountain and see what's in the other end. So if there's any dangerous thing or any exerting thing, they're in the forefront of it, which is awesome.
Yeah. Do you Blanky? So Blanky is the peg leg guy?
Yes.
Were you a little upset with him when he had to leave his ship? Did you hear how sentimental he was?
Was I upset with him?
Were you upset for him?
No.
Like, did you hear?
No, because
he was talking about all the other missions he's been on, what they've been to. It was like a guy, like with a car, like his first car.
But it's a shame, but you know what? Any guy who's been sentimental about his old car, he's getting a new car, and it's wonderful memories, but he's not going to die in that car.
Well, he's not getting a new car either.
Well, he doesn't know that just quite yet. Also, peg leg man going on a like 800-mile excursion. Get real.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Um, all right, well, we can go back to more Crozier and Fitzjames, and when they find that lead party
Mhm.
on like the Beast got them, Tanook got them, and put their heads on display, and their heads were frozen.
Because they've been there for over a year, 2 years, I think.
Wait, that's how long?
I want to say at least a year and a half. Yes.
Holy shit! They said they only got 18 miles,
Yep. So they weren't far. Yeah,
and so the heads looked like they were silver statues. That's just frozen.
because it was frozen all the way through.
Oh, I
Stone
get
cold
it.
ice. Yep. So they've been there a long, long time.
Ugh, that scene was eerie. And well, how come the Tanook? I like that we didn't see it in 2 episodes. Like last week, we said we were happy that the carnage was done by man-made carnage.
Yeah.
Same for this week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of wanted it's lurking, right? I mean, maybe we didn't
I
even
don't
need
know.
to see it.
We don't need
lurking.
it. I mean, if Tanook is a brain, and I'll steal this quote from an article I read. Said that the Tanook is the beast is no longer their biggest problem; it's themselves. So maybe the Tanook is like, you know what, fuck you guys. You guys are going to take care of yourselves. I don't have to exert this. I'll just eat the remains.
Yeah, but or maybe even as a viewer, I am conditioned to fear that thing, even without it being seen at all. Like I didn't forget about it because it wasn't around.
I just assume if they're walking in the ice, it's around, and
Yeah,
the danger's always there.
yeah. That's what I assume. It's lingering and looming. So
Mhm.
I don't even need to see it.
No, no, I like how they set up camp, and they're like, well, yeah, no, we get the full moon, and we can see miles each direction. This is a perfect spot. Do you think they set up the camp because it was someone else's camp? You think that Tanook had been there and terrorized other people, and that's why it was set up the way it was?
I don't know. Whose camp was it? Like the lead parties or?
I think it was the old it was the Indian tribe or the Eskimo tribe,
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah,
that's what they were going for, and when they got on top of that mountain, they're like, ah, my God, and the flag's still raised, and and he was it seemed like they finally got to where they wanted to go.
yeah.
It was
That
vacant.
confused me. I went back. I was trying to figure out what they meant by the flag was still raised, and then I kind of just.
Yeah, it was like the Eskimo group or whatever. It was maybe they're looking for Canadians there. Who knows? But it was where they wanted to go, and so it was where they thought there was going to be more people, but the people weren't there.
Yeah. All right, and then the only thing that Crozier is not doing good is he's still making them eat that food, and
Yeah,
good sir. I don't know. Do a better job, good sir. Like
he
explain
has
it.
turned into a giant pussy. I mean,
Explain it better. Like all he's saying is, "No, sir, they can't. They can't." It's like, dude, tell him exactly why.
I think
But
he
he's
knows
like,
exactly why. I think he already told them. But hey, you think about Crozier's position. What is he going to do? It's like, all right, well, guys, we're eating our shoes tonight.
yeah, I know. I don't
You
know. I
know,
don't know what you do. You just feed them until they go crazy and kill themselves.
I mean, if you
And
think about it, they've been eating this stuff for I think actually 3 years now.
yeah,
He's thinking, well, what's another 3 weeks till we make land?
and we did see one guy go crazy and get shot.
Yeah, he was the first one. He was the guy who was like showed the first signs of having the black gums.
Yep.
Yep. And he actually, I like that he was coming down off the ledge basically. He's lowering the gun, but it accidentally went off, and it shot the lantern, and the one of the Marines just killed him, which rightfully so. And I think it's for the best because you don't want the guy around anyways.
Yeah. So now does he become a patient like the monkey's still around? Like
Yeah,
that
what the fuck is that about?
that was weird.
It was
Carried the
very
dead
weird.
monkey. He's got to be studying it, I guess.
That took Good Sir's like stature in my mind down a few pegs. He went from being, all right, here's like the guy he was all about well-being and he's intelligent, to what are you carrying a dead fucking monkey for with lead poisoning? You're just going to make yourself sick from like whatever diseases it might have as it rots.
Yeah. Good Sir and Fitzjames and Crozier, this show, the way their characters have like gone from, oh, I love that guy, to, oh, he's a psychopath, oh, I hate this guy, to, oh, he's good, and it's all felt very natural and proper
Very.
decline and rise of characters. So they're doing a good. It's really well done.
Yeah.
What did you think about Lady Silence laying with Good Sir?
I'll be honest. I didn't know she was still there until she made an appearance in the when Morphin was running around with a gun. I didn't know she was. I didn't know she was marching with him. Why is she there?
I don't know.
I mean, so she must. The Beast must have rejected her.
Man, I can't imagine cutting my tongue off for a mystical creature to accept me and then it not.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
You can't even ask why.
Oh,
Oh,
but
yeah, I don't know what. I mean, she's got to come into play again at some point because now we have some Eskimos, which we'll just go straight to the end. I think we covered everything.
I'll answer your question first. I thought it was very weird that she and Good Sarah are developing a relationship when they can't even talk to each other. And
It seems it to me that felt like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
don't we? There's so much going on that's good, and
Yep.
and we don't need like a love story or love
We just
connection
don't.
between them.
we
just
just
really-
don't.
Yeah, so that's what I thought.
We better
So we-
stop that.
We finally get some more Eskimos.
You love those guys. You love them.
What, did you see his glasses? Guy was fucking cool.
He's rocking shutter shades. The 1780 shutter shades.
What was his name? Like Kanok.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kunyuko? I don't know.
But that was cool.
Seeing him pronounce John was hilarious for me.
Oh, it's 'cause
He
you see
really
his name?
struggled with John, which is like not because of my name, just because it's an extremely basic English name. One of the easiest ones to say, and he was like, John?
Yeah, but they could be saying that about Kinyoko.
Yeah, you're right. It was wild cultural difference for me.
Well, what did you think? They just like gave him some blubber. They were so nice to him. So those Eskimos had to have encountered soldiers before.
Yeah, they have. Or just maybe just good people because they notice like, hey, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. 800 miles around us is nothing. So hey, we have a friend. There's potential someone here to talk to.
So that makes me think they're not the same tribe as Lady Silence and her dad because they were pretty skeptical of soldiers right away.
Maybe Lady Silence and Dad were part of this tribe, and it was their birthright or birth responsibility to take care of the Chinook and get it out of the way of the tribe.
Could be.
And maybe her coming back is very dangerous for them. They don't even know it yet, but Chinook is back to wreak havoc on them.
I'm interested to see if we see these Eskimos again and their reaction when they see Lady Silence. And I don't know, just to see where it goes. I've been begging to see more Eskimos. Dave kept telling me that it wouldn't happen.
You've been right this whole time.
And it was like, of course we're going to see more Eskimos. So, yeah, he was like, thanks for my food. Here's this telescope.
It's such a lopsided trade, man.
Yeah, and he was pretty friendly with that food. Like, there were 6 Eskimos, and they had, what, 2 seals?
Yeah, but he was cutting. I mean, I thought he was going to cut off one, but he was like kept going, cut.
Yeah, it was. They were like straight up nice people.
Yeah,
and they had really cool sunglasses on.
I really hope that they didn't go over the hill looking for him and get stabbed.
So is Hickey? We liked his plan for mutiny.
Yep.
We say he's an imposter now, a con man.
Yep.
Is this all Hickey, or is he succumbing to some lead poisoning craziness as well? Is it a combination? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both. I think maybe he was just a bad person, a criminal in his real life, and then he gets on this ship. Lead poisoning is definitely fucking with his head a little bit. Actually, excuse me. Maybe he was on the run because he was a homosexual and got found out, and this whole murdering thing is just a side effect of the lead.
Maybe sounds he's not like the killing of Versace on the FX show. That he was a real life killer. He was a gay guy who was like running and killing people.
Maybe he's that guy.
Could
like similar to that guy.
Here was my thought. I thought the rest of Hickey's mutiny squad, were these 2 people he killed part of his mutiny squad, or were they just going out?
No.
They were not, right?
They were not.
So I think back at camp, Hickey's friends were killing people too because he said to the lieutenant, tomorrow you'll see the numbers will be more without us.
Oh,
So I
that's
took that
foreshadowing.
I took that to mean tomorrow we're gonna kill some people, like they were asking for guns, and you'll see that you're gonna want to be on our side.
That's interesting.
So
I
when
can
they
see
go back
that.
to camp, maybe his partners had to kill some people too, or maybe they didn't go through with it, and Hickey's like, "What the fuck? I killed people."
Maybe his partners were on the other search parties, and they all came back like just one person came back from each.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Why did he have no clothes on?
I think because he needs to go back to camp, and if he's got blood on it splattered on his jacket or whatever, they're gonna know like he was real close to the death.
Mm-mm.
But if he's clean, he's like, yeah, he went off ahead and he disappeared. I couldn't find him, or he said, well, yeah, I saw them get eaten by something.
I
But if
have a
he's got blood
problem.
on him, he can't say that.
That's a good call. I think you're right. I have a problem with the way the stabs looked.
Yep.
It was like for them to happen in which the holes show on the cloth, he would have had to
Yep.
like come fully out, come fully in, come fully out with
Well,
like really smooth and like you couldn't do that to a cake properly. Did you see like
he did do that though. He
I think it
did.
needed to be sloppier and ripped up.
No, he did a full on prison shank. I'm back to it. Maybe he's a criminal. Maybe he's got prison experience because that was a full on prison shank. You do multiple punctures really quickly, and he's like,
Yeah.
look back at the kill. It was wild. That's why I wanted to bring up the murder because that was one of the weirdest murders I've ever seen. It was just rapid fire, stab, 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 and it was full extension.
Scary. Hickey scares me.
I keep going back and forth on what he is, and like I don't know. He is a enigma for sure.
Okay, so that was episode 7, which
Yes.
if IMDb ratings, it's tied for second. No, ooh, wow. It's tied for the fourth most popular episode.
No kidding.
There's only been one episode, according to on IMDb ratings, that was higher, and it was the third one, the ladder, when we first see the Beast kill
Francis got
Franklin.
killed. Franklin, yeah.
Franklin. Yeah, that was so
I
that.
can understand that. That was a great one.
So that was ranked 8.8. And then first shot a winner, lads, when the Beast attacks again and they shoot it, was ranked 8.7. A Mercy 8.6. Horrible from Supper 8.7. Now this next one is ranked at 9.1.
Ooh.
So it should get better according to those who have seen and voted, which is around 400 people have voted on every episode. Or all the episodes haven't been seen yet. So
Damn.
it's called Terror Camp Clear. Do you have any guesses for what this one's going to mean?
They kill the terror camp. Because what if there's two camps? They were the Erebus and Terror. And they kill everyone that was on the Terror. That's my gut reaction, but they proved this week that they're much more clever than I am. So
the last 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 episodes, the titles have been a quote. Horrible from Supper, First Shot a Winner, lads, Punished as a Boy. Those were all quotes. A Mercy, I don't think was a quote. Gore was the name of the guy who died in episode 2. So Terror Camp Clear, it could be a quote.
What if it's saying like Terror Camp, comma, clear, as in like you're gonna go and you're gonna wipe out Terror Camp, clear?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Hickey's gonna say, like, I don't know what happened to them. They vanished. Or they ran away. And he's like you said, the way he took his clothes off, so there's no blood. It's not he's gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
so there's 3 episodes left, correct?
Yeah.
So we have to kill a whole camp or half of them at this point. I think it's a little too early. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Might start eating people too.
I think he already is. After this, I think he cut up the 2 guys and had a little feast.
The way they did the dog was cool too.
Just in the sack.
Well, like earlier, they're like, "Where's Neptune?" which is the dog's name. So you had to be paying attention to that. And then he hands it to that lieutenant, and he goes, which man is this?" And Hickey says, "It wasn't a man, but it belonged to a man."
Yep. But did you catch before that when they're eating their rations, and it was the whole mutiny crew, and they're saying, like, oh, they heard the dog barking in the distance, and they're saying, well, I bet he gets a full ration just like us. And someone else, I can't remember who it was, but says, yeah, but I bet you he's like earning his keep. Basically, one of them, I think it was one of the mutiny guys saying, "Oh yeah, he's fattening up for us." Maybe that was a plan to kill him.
Also, I'm just reminded that the very first conversation of the show, I think, was Hickey and them talking about what rank the dog is.
Yes. Yep, I remember that too. So they decided he was an officer.
They've been aware of the dog for a while now. Interesting.
And I gotta believe, I have to like sympathize with them. A dog being on that kind of excursion and eating food too, and it doesn't seem necessary, and it would bother me too. The dog is the first one to go. If our guys are dying, that dog should be gone.
Yeah, I don't have any qualms with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that about wraps up this episode. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think we know where the end goal is. We just have to figure out how we get there. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that the show has the ending as the first title slate, basically. Yeah, and we're still this interested.
Which is just a credit to the writing.
And really you said that they might have a sequel now?
Not a sequel, but it's part of an anthology. That was the way they presented it originally. AMC has not confirmed that it would be second season yet. They're averaging about 1 million viewers per episode, which is pretty good. So an anthology is like True Detective. So it would have
or like American
Horror Story. So it would have the same. It would have a whole different cast, whole different story. What's interesting about this one is the name of the show is The Terror. In anthology, they don't change the name of the show. So I think maybe Mr. Pegleg there, what the hell is his name?
Blanky.
He had mentioned earlier in this episode how they basically had to drag the Terror back in an earlier situation. Maybe they're going to do several stories regarding the Terror of the boat. I don't know.
Interesting. Or maybe they just find other survival military.
Well, see, the Terror is it's something has to do with the Terror.
I had no idea what the show was about until I watched it, and I knew it was called The Terror. I didn't know the ships were called The Terror. I just thought it was like there was a terror, like they were being terrorized.
Maybe because that was a British naval ship, and they often reuse names. Yeah. So maybe there's another ship later on. Maybe this is a cursed British name. Maybe there's a World War II ship that goes down, and we're on that one. Who knows?
Right. Well, hopefully they end this season good enough, and the second one's not ruined. But like sometimes it's hard to duplicate. This seems hard.
I think they should just button it up at this one and leave it as it is because it's perfect so far.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back next week to talk about what did we say the title was? Terror Camp Clear.
Yep. Can't wait.
And I'm rooting for Crozier and Fitzjames. They're heroes now, true heroes.
They really are.
But I know that they don't win. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will be back. And if you would like movies, John and Dave are doing the Avengers Infinity Wars.
Yep. Published. It's going to come out on Monday. And Friday, we're going to release our weekly headliners. If you like basic entertainment news.
Yep. Yeah. Trailers, box office, entertainment news, all that shit. Well, thanks for listening. See you guys later. Bye. Later.